out a little. Let's focus on some global news and updates coming in. And first up, let me take you through what Wall Street has looked like in yesterday's trade. You have stock futures that were near the flat line when it comes to last night's tradings, as investors are awaiting key payrolls data today. Now, stocks closed Thursday's session lower, retreating from the records that the major indices hit in the previous session. Remember, S&P and NASDAQ have been on a tear for the last couple of trading sessions, but yesterday, however, Dow Jones is closed with a downtick of 0.5%, S&P 500 lower by 0.2. You have NASDAQ also lower by 0.2, so the slight bit of a cut coming in. All eyes are going to be on that very important data that we are expecting to see from the US today. Now, on the earnings front, several companies posted strong quarterly results after the closing bell and saw their shares take off. You had Ulta Beauty that jumped 12% after posting higher than expected earnings and revenue for the fiscal third quarter. GitLab and DocuDesign also gained 7% and 14% respectively on quarterly beats. Investors are now turning their attention to Friday's jobs report, anticipating it will provide a clearer picture into the health of the domestic labor market and shape the Fed Reserve's rate decision at its December 17-18 policy meeting. Remember, back home, we have the outcome of our MPC meeting today. Going to be very crucial to watch out what happens on the back of that lower than expected GDP reading that we've seen. But economists polled by Dow Jones now expect that non-farm payrolls increase by 214,000 in November, which would mark a huge hike from October's gain of just 12,000. Now, week to date, the S&P 500 is up 0.7. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ has gained 2.5%. The Dow is down 0.3%. So the Dow is the only outlier when you see, and slightly bucking the trend on the week-to-date basis, but that's what the US markets have looked like. But we should also talk about the bonds and what the bond yields have been doing, because that has also taken some action coming in ahead of that jobs data that we've been eyeing in US 10-year at 4.172. So rather stable around those levels. Lastly, let us also quickly just take a look at what Bitcoin has done, because right now trading at 98,302, significantly lower from that 100,000 and rather 100,003 levels that we had seen on Bitcoin yesterday. So lots of volatility coming there. But Shreyansi, take us through what commodities are up to.
Well, absolutely. When you take a look at oil prices, what you're looking at is that oil prices were a little changed, and that was after OPEC Plus members agreed to delay those production increases as well. So that is largely the kind of handover that you have in terms of the news flow. When you take a look at price levels, the US crude oil fell just about 24 cents, 0.4% there, about $68 per barrel is where that one was at. And even Brent crude, when you take a look at it, pulled back just about 22 cents, so 0.3%, $72 per barrel is the kind of level that you're looking at for Brent crude as well. Now, you do have 8 OPEC Plus members led by Saudi Arabia as well as Russia that will be keeping voluntary production cuts of 2.2 million barrels per day in place until the end of March 2025. The cuts will then be gradually phased out on a monthly basis until the end of September 2026. So that's that long-awaited sort of verdict coming in from the OPEC Plus. And you also have the Paris-based International Energy Agency that has also warned that global supply will be exceeding demand by 1 million barrels per day next year, even if the current OPEC Plus cuts remain in place. So that's the kind of news flow that you have coming in for oil prices. Lastly, let's also take a look at gold prices, because gold dipped as US Treasury yields firmed, like Snehi mentioned, after the release of weekly jobless claims data, while you also had markets awaiting that US non-farm payrolls figure for fresh insights into the Federal Reserve's stance on interest rate cuts. So when you're taking a look at the price levels coming in for gold, spot gold was down just about 0.8%, $2,600 per ounce is the kind of level that you're looking at least when it comes to gold.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.